The author of the MBTI instrument, Isabel Briggs Myers, realized that people with the same personality type sometimes behave quite differently. And she believed that each of the four dichotomies, meaning each of the four acronyms in the MBTI personality, is made up of different parts. She called them facets. So in the 1940s, she began to work on a tool that would identify the individual differences within each of these 16 types. The first pair of facets look at the general focus of how individuals will take in information. Sensing are more concrete. This is the core facet. People with this facet prefer to live in a world of the five senses and its perceptions. They are going to learn and communicate through those senses. They love what can be verified and what can be touched, and they're often very skeptical about moving out of those five senses. An intuitive person is going to be more abstract. They love to focus on what ideas mean and how they can connect ideas and things, creating patterns. They like to focus on the gist and the basic concepts of a matter, and they're very comfortable interpreting information that is not necessarily literal. The second pair looks at how meaning is given to information for these type. For the sensing person, it's realistic. They appear as someone who places high value on good old common sense and objects and other things, and they have a practical use of it right away. They want to keep themselves and their families very secure. This means financially and physically, and as comfortable as possible in very practical ways. The intuition person is going to be more imaginative. They appear as someone who is resourceful in finding original and creative solutions to new problems, while being more concerned with and interested in and place more value on what could be in the future than what is here and now and what could be seen and touched. They are future oriented. The third pair is how we get information through knowledge. The sensing person is practical, someone who enjoys performing tasks in a very prescribed, routine, familiar way. There is a right way for this kind of a person and a wrong way, and they like to use their familiar tools. They would rather build slowly and steadily in ways that have very little risk than to attempt a great change or a great return, which may blow up. They also place emphasis on the personal comforts in their life. Intuition is conceptual. They describe someone who is interested less in what is tangible, but they prefer to read and understand any underlying meanings, and they really do enjoy complex ideas as they're able to pull it apart and understand it in its pieces and put it back together. They will perform well on tests, and they tend to be willing to take greater risk in the anticipation of a greater gain in the future. The fourth pair is how individuals take in information related to meaning and patterns. A sensing person is experiential, and this is a person who is going to work from past experiences and live by a mantra that if it isn't broken, they're not even going to attempt to fix it, right? If they must complete something that's unfamiliar with them, they're going to really use what they know best first. They're going to begin with valued sources, and they're going to try trial and error until they find the best way of completing something. An intuition person is more theoretical, and this is someone who is often described as being insightful, innovative, conceptual, even looking at hypothesis. They're going to find new ways and new tasks that are going to work. They seek and do what has not yet been done, and they find it uninteresting for repetition and to repeat tasks. They believe that things often are much greater than they appear. Lastly, this pair looks at the social context and how these people deal with their traditions in the world. A sensing person is extremely traditional. They're going to find security and validation in traditions of family, society, and even within themselves and their friends. They're uncomfortable with trends and fads that have not passed any kind of test, and they have a great comfort in finding things that are true. They've been tried. They know that they can rely on them.
An intuition person is a lot more original. They tend to lean towards uniqueness and variety, and they're able to express himself or themselves in a very unique way. This is a way to express an adventurous streak or display different and original ideas, but it is actually a way to infuse more meaning into a very mundane, routine task.